For the last 500 years, history has followed a brutal pattern. Every global superpower, Spain, Britain, the Soviet Union, all believed they were too big to fail. They had the strongest armies. They controlled trade. They dominated global finance. And yet, they all collapsed. Not overnight, not with one single event, but slowly, stage by stage, while most people were distracted. Now in 2026, the world is watching three giants: China, Russia, and the United States. Each claims strength. Each claims control. Each says the future belongs to them. But history doesn't care about confidence. History only respects patterns. And today, those patterns are flashing warning signs again. The real question is not if a collapse will happen. The real question is, which superpower breaks first? Stay with me, because what you're about to see isn't opinion. It's history repeating itself. Well, welcome to Finance Lumina, where we reveal the realities of money, power, and empires. No spin, no controversy. Now, before we go deeper, grab your headphones, pop some popcorn, and don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and press the bell. You know, the drill. And I know you're already with me on this. So let's get back to the real story, because what comes next is what most people completely miss. The 7-stage collapse pattern. Every fallen empire follows the same cycle. It doesn't matter if it's ancient Rome or modern America. The stages are simple: financial expansion, military dominance, currency, strength-debt explosion, social division, loss of global trust, collapse, or reset. Spain collapsed under silver inflation. Britain collapsed under debt and war costs. The USSR collapsed under economic pressure and loss of trust. Now look closely. All three modern superpowers are somewhere between stage 4 and stage 6. That's the danger zone. United States, stage 5, warning signs. Let's start with the United States. America still controls the world's reserve currency, global financial institutions, military bases across the planet. But underneath that power, the cracks are getting louder. U.S. national debt has crossed 34 trillion. Interest payments alone are eating the budget alive. The dollar is strong, but but only because there is no replacement yet. That's not strength, that's delay. At home, America is facing political paralysis, deep social division, rising inequality, declining trust in institutions. History tells us something uncomfortable. Empires don't collapse when they're weak. They collapse when they're divided. The US is not at stage 7, but it is clearly sitting in stage 5, dangerously comfortable, dangerously confident. China, controlled strength or hidden crisis? Now let's talk about China. On the surface, China looks unstoppable. Manufacturing powerhouse, global infrastructure projects, massive foreign reserves. But behind the curtain, the story changes. China's real estate sector, once its growth engine, is collapsing. Developers are defaulting. Ghost cities sit empty. Youth unemployment is exploding. Domestic consumption is weak. Debt levels at local governments are extreme. China's model depends on control and confidence. The moment confidence breaks, capital flight begins. Trade slows, growth freezes. China is not collapsing tomorrow, but it is entering stage 4, stage 5, economic stress combined with internal pressure. And history shows authoritarian systems crack fast, not slowly. Russia, power without an economy. Russia is different. Russia doesn't pretend to be an economic superpower. It is a resource empire. Oil, gas, military influence. Sanctions have reshaped Russia's economy. Trade has shifted east. The ruble survives, but only through control. Russia's biggest weakness is simple. It produces raw power, not innovation. Empires based on extraction don't collapse suddenly. They bleed slowly. Russia is stuck in stage 4, militarized, isolated, and dependent on global instability. Strong enough to disrupt, too weak to dominate long term. The global economy? Why this time is different. Here's what makes 2026 different from every collapse before. For the first time in history, all major powers are under stress at the same time. Debt levels are historic. Trust in currencies is weakening. Gold and silver prices are screaming warnings. Markets are volatile, not because of fear, but because of uncertainty. When investors don't know who to trust, they don't invest, they hide. That's how freezes begin, that's how resets happen. So, who collapses first? Let's be clear. Collapse does not mean destruction, it means loss of dominance. The US risks a slow decline. China risks a sharp internal shock. Russia risks stagnation without growth. History suggests the system breaks where confidence breaks first. Not bombs, not wars, confidence. Empires don't fall because people predict them. They fall because people ignore the signs. You're not watching this to panic, you're watching this to understand. Because understanding the pattern early is the only real advantage ordinary people ever get. History doesn't move on our timeline, but it always moves. And the question remains, which superpower will blink first? Comment below, which country do you think is closest to the breaking point? And if this video helped you see the bigger picture, share it with someone who still thinks this time is different, because history disagrees. Subscribe.